And welcome back to SportsZone. This is our NBA segment, Throwing It Up. It's the last edition of the year, so I had to get the form right on that one. I'm joined by Justin, who's in his formal attire today.
Very last minute, just got off a plane. Last week was a tease. This is my last show. Everything you saw last week was just a big joke.
Absolutely. You got to keep the viewers intrigued, Justin.
Hey,
you got to keep them
intrigued. We do it for those ratings. We're like Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharpe.
Exactly. But we'll talk about some NBA. We'll start off with a big game that's going on actually right now. Game 7 of the Indiana Pacers-Cleveland Cavaliers series. So, Justin, just quite simply, who's going to win this Game 7?
I have no idea. Honestly, I don't know. It's hard to bet against LeBron because he could drop, a 40-point triple-double and propel his team to victory. Or his team, he'll show up, but nobody on his team will show up. And then, Indiana can win that game. Kevin Love was the second leading scorer on the team, averaging 8 points a game. Second leading scorer averaging 8 points a game. So that just tells you everything you need to know about the series. LeBron has no help. It's really just going to come down to how much energy and how efficient he's going to play today will determine if Indiana wins or not. I think Cleveland, just because LeBron can have one of those superhuman Michael Jordan, Kobe games, and Indiana doesn't have him. So for this one game, LeBron James.
Yeah, it's really tough to see LeBron James not coming out in a Game 7 and just doing his thing. Yeah, he really hasn't had a roster this bad since the days before he left from Miami.
Bobby Gibson.
Yeah, exactly. So it's going to be interesting to see if they do win this series, how they're going to fare against the Toronto Raptors. And we'll talk about the Raptors-Wizards series real quick. The Raptors winning in Game 6 in Washington. I was there to witness it. The Raptors really not as convincing in this series as some people thought they would be going in as the number 1 seed. People thought that they would maybe win in 4 or 5. They won in 6. They didn't even look convincing in Game 6. So, forgetting about the Wizards and their issues, Justin, can you see the Raptors progressing to the NBA Finals, basing it off this performance in the first round?
They give me more hope, mostly because Kyle Lowry played a pretty good series. He did about what he did during the regular season. He didn't, just fall off a cliff like he normally does in the playoffs. He was their best player in Game 6 by far. I think he had 28, 6, and 5. So, if he can carry that in, DeRozan played pretty good during the first round, and their bench was their bench best unit in that first round series. They got a chance. It's really for me between them and Philly. We'll see what happens when we get there. I'm really hoping for that. Drake, Meek Mill, Eastern Conference Final. I'm really rooting for that. They're showing me a lot more than what I was expecting going in.
Yeah, definitely agree with that. The Raptors, certainly a favorite in the Eastern Conference. I'm actually going with the 76ers just because of the way they play. It's crazy to think that the 76ers are a favorite in the Eastern Conference, after, being so mediocre for so many years. But that's definitely the case in the Eastern Conference. The other series in the Eastern Conference, Boston beat Milwaukee, but we won't talk about that. We'll move over to the Western Conference. A big series that had everybody talking was the Utah Jazz versus Oklahoma City Thunder. The Utah Jazz winning the series in 6. Russell Westbrook, dropping 46 points, but that on 43 shots. Yep. Paul George struggled. Carmelo Anthony struggled. So, putting aside how well, Donovan Mitchell and that Utah Jazz team played, Justin, looking forward to this Oklahoma City team. Do you see a way that Paul George is going to re-sign with Oklahoma City? And if he doesn't, how are they going to, move forward from here?
I do see a way he could resign. I would hate to go out on 4 of 16 shooting, 6 points on, a terrible Game 6 performance where your team was in reach and you really came down to one shot from pretty much going into overtime. From that standpoint, I think he really enjoys playing with Russell Westbrook. And I think he enjoys the Oklahoma City organization as a whole. I think the question will be is the glitz and glamour of LA going to persuade him from that? Because I think for him it's those 2 options, really nothing else. There's really no other choice. It's just, I think he'll weigh winning or money in terms of off the court value. So we'll see. I'll say he'll probably lean towards Los Angeles since he made that claim before he got traded, just as a preference. But I wouldn't be surprised if he was back at Oklahoma City. Question is, will Melo be back? Don't know. Probably will be with that $20 million player option. Might get bought out, but that's something they're going to figure out later after Paul George.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Melo would be, sort of, dumb to turn down that $28 million option, that he can get from the Oklahoma City Thunder. And certainly, LA, the big favorite to land Paul George other than Oklahoma City. But maybe another team to watch out for is Philly. I think it would be a great fit in Philly.
It would be a great
fit. That's another possibility, but that's, a discussion for another day moving forward. And another series that kicked off yesterday was the Warriors-Pelicans. The Warriors, sort of comfortably winning that series. So, Justin, how do you see the series, panning out moving forward?
I was a lot higher on the series before yesterday. I thought this was New Orleans' chance to steal a game against the Warriors, with Steph Curry being out and probably being back the next game. Clearly, Golden State took the regular season off and the first round off, and that their defense it's ratcheted up to like a 10th degree. This is a completely different team. I could see New Orleans getting a game or two. Not much. When they pull out the lineup of Etuan Moore, Rajon Rondo, and Drew Holiday, it's pretty much their starting backcourt. They're just so undersized. Kevin Durant is playing small forward at 6'10", 7 feet tall. Andre Iguodala is 6'8". Drew Holiday is the tallest of that bunch. It's 6'5". They don't have enough wings to match up. Anthony Davis is their greatest mismatch, but they're double teaming him to death. We'll see if the rest of Steph Curry hinders them because incorporating him. But I really don't see a way Golden State doesn't win comfortably, 3 games.
Yeah, I mean, definitely Golden State, a team that sort of, maybe didn't do it as well in the regular season as some people thought, but, coming off that championship sort of maybe, kind of boring regular season. Now that the playoffs come, they sort of, played a lot better, especially like on the defensive end, like you talked about. But we'll end it, since this is the last episode of the season. We'll end it. We'll go out on a limb right now. Justin, who's your NBA final and who's going to be the NBA champions?
My NBA final is Golden State 76ers. 76ers are probably a year or two too early, losing 5 games to Golden State.
That's weird that you said that. I'm actually going to go the same way. Golden State in 5 versus the Philadelphia 76ers. I think, sort of crazy to think about that the Philadelphia 76ers are going to be in the NBA Finals. But, with Simmons and Embiid, even if they don't win it this year, they're going to be the team to beat in the NBA going forward.
Yeah, they're like the 2012 Oklahoma City team.
Yeah, absolutely. Hopefully they don't trade any of those big pieces like Oklahoma City did.
We'll see if Markelle Fultz turns out to be James Harden.
Yeah. If Markelle Fultz turns out to be a superstar, you've got 3 superstars on that team. That's going to be scary. But I think that's all we have for this edition of Throwing It Up, and more Sports Zone after this.